Hi everyone, and welcome to this year's Wisdom Tree reading with me, Shruti. So, some of you who are on my page, you know that I do readings every week, but this one is for a whole year ahead. So, it's just spirit messages and guidance, just like an overview for 2015. So, what I would like you to do is choose either one, two, or three. Just pick one of these numbers. Use your intuition and see which number you're drawn to. And then I'm going to be speaking about the cards that you got for that number and the objects that you got. So pick one, two, or three. So after you've done that, I'm going to start with number one. If you chose number one, then the card that you got is this one. It's two of coins, and as you can see that there's a being here, and he's balancing himself on this lizard, and it's kind of like he's juggling two coins. And I also notice all of this orange energy that's around him. So what I feel from this card for you is that it's about that this year is going to be a lot about balance, and um, just like in the image he's performing like a balancing act, that your abundance is going to come in that form, that you may be looking for stability, but it's going to be more like movable stability. So there's flexibility that's required on your part, which means that so for example, you might have a goal in mind, and you start with that project, for example, and then you find that your focus kind of changes and now it's something else. So you are getting that abundance and stability that you want, but it's shifting, if you know what I mean. So there's flexibility that is called for in this year for you. So, and yeah, and a sense of focus as well. So yesterday I saw snow for the first time because I come from India, but now I'm here in Zagreb, and my cousin's visiting from Germany, and I was just out with her, and I was walking on snow for the first time, and how it's slippery, and she was teaching me how to basically walk on it. So she said something to me that kind of stuck out. Because I was asking her, there's some parts of the road were kind of more icy and some were different. So we were talking about how some portions you have to be a bit more careful. But then she said to me that you can't really predict all the time how it's going to be. All that you can do is kind of just be sure within yourself, how you're walking, how you place your feet on the ground, and to just have that confidence and keep that as your main focus rather than, in the external about what kind of ice there is and things like that. So that kind of stuck to me because, uh, you know, and I feel that that's what the message for you for this year as well, is to focus on whatever your current desire is, because this color orange, and also the next one, the stone that you got, is orange, and so that's about your passions and your creativity. So whatever your passion is in the moment is bringing you that stability. So it's just the focus should be there, and the abundance is coming to you in that form. So I hope that makes sense. And so yeah, so the next item is this stone that you got, and it's this orange brown color. Oops. And orange again is the color of creativity. It's the color of doing what you love. And brown is more like if you think of a tree, then brown has the energy of stability. It has the energy of nurturing, mothering, and having your roots firmly placed. So that kind of feel to it. So but we already talked about that. It's bringing the same message, it's kind of echoing the same message of that movable stability and the need to have flexibility with that. But as I was looking at this stone, what I was seeing in it was this being that was he looks like he's hiding behind this boulder, like this big rock, and he's kind of unsure, like he wants to come out, but he's not confident enough. And but when I look at him, there's a sense that he is eventually going to move that boulder away. So I feel that that's you, that there might be times in this year, especially maybe the beginning few months of the year, because we're all beginning these new projects with the beginning of the year and starting new things. um, so it might feel like there's some roadblocks or some challenges, but you might be coming out just a little bit to test the waters. um, but you are eventually moving that boulder away, so there's just a big sense of that. So to have faith when those moments happen, that this abundance and stability is coming for you. So eventually you are coming out to play. And then, in the end, I chose a card also, a second card for all of us. And so the one that you got is this. It's called Growth. It's the Ten of Wands. And immediately when I saw this, what I noticed was this white flower in the middle, this white rose. And to me, that symbolizes, something. It symbolizes like your desires, your real desires, because white is the color of spirit. And so it's kind of like what your real desire is on your ascension path. And what I also noticed was these two hands, this one and the other one. So there's a crinkly old hand and there's a baby little hand over here. So this to me is about reaching out for your goals and your passions within the old paradigm, with your old ways, and with an old set of beliefs that are kind of limiting you. And so you see how it feels like a struggle reaching for that. Whereas this new hand, when you embrace the new way of moving towards your goal with that flexibility, perhaps, it may feel like you're taking baby steps, but you see how there's, the baby's very close to reaching that flower. And there's just a sense of trust as well, like a childlike trust and childlike play kind of energy as well with it. It's not a desperate clinging. So yeah, so those are messages for you to have that kind of faith and trust as well on your path. And so in the end, I'd like you to see what stands out to you in this card, and ask what message that has for you as well. Also, this one, it's called Growth. So you're obviously growing a lot this year, and that seems to be the theme as well, with the shifting in focus and constantly moving forward. So that was number one. So now we're moving on to number two. So if you chose number two, then the card that you get is Eight of Coins. And as you can see, there's a fox wizard kind of a being here, and he's making like a magic potion, and he's throwing in many ingredients, and it's kind of like bubbling up and becoming all sparkly. Yeah. So what I feel for you for this year is that with this card, which is the Eight of Coins, it can be about hard work paying off. So I feel that it might be a time of putting in a lot of focus and hard work within this year, but then ultimately it is leading to abundance. So it's about having that faith throughout the year that what you're putting in, if it's your real guidance coming through, first of all to listen to that guidance, and then with faith, just doing whatever you're guided to, and it's leading to that abundance. So for example, when I looked at this, I think of cooking, because there's the pot and everything. So it's kind of like, if you're baking a cake, Then you need to kind of gather the ingredients together and to make the dough, for example, and then you kind of mix them together and you give it a form, you give it a shape. So there's a lot of that work that goes into it, and then in the end you put it inside the oven to bake, and then it kind of takes on its own um, uh, movement. And it kind of does its own work, and maybe you can relax for a while, but then you again need to come back and keep checking if it's baked right and if it's finished and things like that. But in the end you get this magnificent cake that you can enjoy, and you can also share with others. So I feel that that's again your message for the year, is that you might have to put in all of these ingredients, and at that time it might feel like you're not getting the result that you want, but you won't get the result that you want immediately all the time. So it's about having that patience that goes into that cooking, for that fabulous cake to bake. That's not just for you, but also that you're sharing with others. So I feel that it's about that, because the stone that you got is this yellow calcite, and this yellow color is about intellect and wisdom. And so I feel that you might get some ideas that kind of percolate, and these ideas are coming from your higher self, and then it's leading to that, things suddenly might click for you. So you might, with your creative or your new projects, you might be worried about how it's going to play out, and that you need to have a solid plan and things like that. But my feeling is that you're going to get these ideas that are divinely inspired, and suddenly something will click. So instead of over planning, it's to trust and follow that guidance that comes, and things will just work out. Suddenly you will have a sense of what to do. And so that's how it might look like in the year for you. And yeah, so also when I was holding this stone, the feeling of it um, was very vibrant. So all crystals kind of vibrate their own note, but this one in particular felt very vibrant. So I feel that the also another big message for you is radiating your own light and radiating your own note. And in the end, the cards that you get also are related, because they have a similar message. And the one that you got two of them that fell out, but this one is ecstasy, and it's the Ace of Cups. And what I notice here is this flower here, which is red and kind of that pale yellow color of the stone, similar. And these are I am colors, so it's related to your higher self and your source presence. And again, again it speaks to me of that wisdom coming in, but it also speaks to me about the need to embrace your role on earth and kind of believe in yourself. That's also what this stone represents as well, is having the confidence to believe in yourself. And as you're doing that, then you're embracing your true purpose, and your gifts will shine through, and then you can help everybody as well. So it's kind of like that cake, you bake it very well and then you enjoy it for yourself, but also for other people, and share with them. So you have some wisdom that that's coming through in this year, that's not just for you, but it's related to your purpose and related to how you share with others, and you're helping them too. So it's time to embrace that. And the other one that you got is this. Have a look at this and see what you notice as well. So for me, there's a lot going on here, but the only thing that stood out to me strongly was this kind of jewel here. And I don't know if you can see, but there's lots of little faces in the mirrors here. So I feel that this is about your different hidden abilities coming to light, and kind of like different facets of you coming to the surface as you believe in yourself and as you embrace your source self. and your abilities and your purpose as well. So, yeah. Then number 3, so if you chose number 3, then there's 2 cards for you that fell out. And the first one is Ace of Wands here. And you can see that there's like a lion kind of a being, and there's a woman sitting on top. And what I notice immediately is this little star that it feels like she's following the star, kind of like, they say um, you follow the North Star or something. And there's a wand here with the sun, so it symbolizes empowerment as well. And there's a lot of like a rejoicing movement kind of an energy here. And the other one that you got is this Page of Wands, also from the wand suit. And it's this being that's kind of blowing this trumpet, kind of an instrument, and he's dancing. So I feel that that has to do with dancing your own, you kind of like finding your own note again. That's kind of a theme. And dancing to his own tune. And whoops. And then you can see the letter that the bird's carrying as well, and there's a scroll as well here. So delivering messages is important. So what I feel with that is, with these cards, because there's a lot of energy of like, there's a lot of like a burst of energy. So I feel that that's the theme for you for this year, that there might be a lot of energy, creativity, new projects, and kind of like initiatives that you're taking. And I feel that this year you'll have a lot to celebrate. So maybe in the last year, in 2014, perhaps in comparison, you were doing a lot of healing within yourself, or letting go of old ways of being that kind of held you back. And so now, because you've done that work and now you're moving into the new energy, so now you'll have a lot more to celebrate, just because of the new changes that you've embraced. So the stone also that you got is I don't know the name of this stone, but it's got this gray silver kind of a color. It's a gray one, and it's kind of sparkly, so it has like a gray silver feel to it. So immediately when I saw this, I thought of the silver cord, and the silver cord is what connects us to our multi-dimensional aspects. We have our physical self here, and then we have our higher self, and then we have our I am presence, and we also have our multi-dimensional selves. So so it's about your connection to your guides and angels, but also your own source self. So so I feel that there's 2 aspects to this. The first one is about breaking away from things and patterns and people that kind of kept you in separation, which you might have done this past year, and you're moving more into the energy of the new now. And so you're linking, as you let go of that, you're linking more to your own true essence and your own inner source, and even your star origin as well. So also, as I was looking at this stone, I was seeing lots of little faces in it, lots of little beings. So I feel that it's saying that you have a lot of support, and you have a lot of beings guiding you as well. So it's time to establish that communion and communication with them on a deeper level, and not to look for this love, support, sense of acceptance outside of yourself, but to find it within, by connecting to your own true inner source. So so it's about feeling their presence around you, of your guides and these beings, your higher self, your angelic self, but also to feel their presence within you, and really establish that communion and communication with them as well. So I feel that that's what you're strongly doing this year. So there's a sense of expanding horizons with relation to this as well. And also I feel, because because we see here the letters and the scroll. So I feel that writing might be important as you establish this communication. Sometimes we get ideas that are inspired by the divine, but we writing helps us to ground those ideas. So maybe that's a message for you as well. Then the last one that you got, the card that you get is very appropriate for the message. It's time space. So see what stands out to you here. And what message does that have for you? So as I saw this, immediately what I was drawn to was this part where there's the black and there's birds flying here, and then there's a tree. So these birds to me are symbolizing freedom, and the black is the unknown. So it's kind of like, this year for me, you're stepping out into the unknown and you're embracing unknown, uncharted territory that you was maybe scared to venture into before. But that's giving you this sense of profound freedom. And then with the tree, because it reminds me of the tree of life, which is related to our divine blueprint. So I feel that, as a result of sort of embracing that freedom, um, you're finding your own divine blueprint. So that's fantastic. So that's it from me. I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that the messages resonated with you. Have a great 2015, and I'll see you next week. Bye.